All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. It turned out to be a pretty nice-looking Tuesday, didn't it? Hard to believe it's the 7th day of November. It's just the time is flying, right?
Yeah.
Rand Robison is on the phone. He spent 36 years in the life insurance and financial service industries, and he's an ex-convict. How do you put those two together? He has written a book to help us understand a little bit about what he went through. It's called From Pride to Prison. It is a memoir, and it's also a cautionary tale. Rand Robison, what an honor to have you on our show. Good morning, sir.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Larry, for having me, and thank you, Rob. And I'm delighted to visit with you. So,
well, thank you.
Really, I'm glad you have me on your show, and I want to visit with you.
All right, excellent. Where are you right now?
I actually live in Rigby, Idaho.
Oh, in Idaho. Okay. How's the weather there today? Okay.
It's snowing. We're having
no, really?
Surprise! Yeah, it's snowing, cold, and so you guys out there, you all out in Florida, better enjoy it.
So, when you wrote the book, could it easily have been titled "From Pride to Prison and Back to Pride Again"?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I never even thought of that. The fact is that I'm going to start another book, and the title is Coming Home from Your Own Funeral. And when you come back from prison, it's like coming back from your own funeral, because everybody's taken their lives and moved on. But the idea behind this book has to do with one thing. I went to prison, and when I was in prison, I wrote this book. And I thought, if my story could help one person, just one single person out there, so that they could understand or even begin to believe that it happened to me and it could happen to you. When the federal government gets you in their crosshairs and decide that you've broken the law, and in my case I did, I rebated commissions, that's why I went to prison. But they don't let you loose. They don't just let you go and slap your hand and tell you don't do it anymore, because if they can win, it's what they do. But
really?
What got me there in the first place, Larry and Robin, was I broke the rules, but so was everybody else breaking the rules, and I just broke them a little better than they did, and I got a draw attention to myself, and I took a plea, luckily, and went to prison for 4 months. But what I'm saying is that pride is an insidious thing. It gets in front of you, and pretty soon you think you're important, and you're making a lot of money, and you're important, and people speak nice to you. And so what the book is about is the spiral that takes you from a comfortable home and surrounded by loved ones and a good business that makes a lot of money, that you spiral all the way down to where you find yourself sitting in a prison cell and saying to yourself, how did I really get here? So that's what the book's about.
Did you blame?
It's a cautionary tale.
Did you blame yourself, or did you blame the government? Who did you blame?
In the beginning, of course, I blamed everybody. But when I made full circle and realized that all progress starts by telling the truth, and that I crossed the line, and I allowed bad behavior in myself and those around me, and I crossed that line, and it cost me my career, my reputation, and my money. So
to the person not in your profession may not know this, and I don't think I knew this, but I did not know it was against the law to rebate a commission. I don't even know what that means.
Well, in Florida, it's legal. I sell you a big life insurance policy, and I can rebate you the first year commission because there's a big markup. It's legal in Florida, and it's legal in California. It's not legal in Idaho, and it's a state statute, but if the federal government investigates it, then it becomes a felony.
Oh, wow.
And so the upshot of it is, for those who are listening, you and Larry and those good people listening, it's a cautionary tale. The book is a cautionary tale that says it happened to me and it could happen to you. Even though everybody else is doing it, you better not do it. And don't let your pride get in your way to rationalize that it's okay because everybody else is doing it.
I wonder how many other crimes that applies to also. There's probably other crimes.
Well, it applies to a lot. Now, here's the deal. I knew rebating those commissions was wrong, but I did it anyway. And the message that I'm trying to share with you, as though we knew each other 100 years, I'm trying to share, and the listening people, if there's something going on in your life that you needed to change and you need to change, do it before you have to. Don't let your pride get in the way to stop you from changing before you have to.
Yeah.
Were you able?
And then when you change, a lot of times you have to suffer the consequences of losing, face and your reputation and what people think of you, and people won't allow that, so they try to save face and let their pride get in their way, other than just admit they did it wrong and move on.
How were you able to become a breadwinner again after you were released from prison? Was it very difficult?
Oh, so it's nearly impossible. You're a felon, and people look at you different, and so I've done everything I can to keep bread on the table, and I have a little bit of property, and I've been trying to trade one thing for another thing and keep moving so I can make a buck.
Did you lose your family? Was your family there when you got out of prison?
Robin, that is a great question. And here's what I learned. I learned that if you don't have good, lasting relationships in your life, people that you love and people that love you through thick and thin, life can be miserable. So in my case, I didn't lose my family and I didn't lose my wife. But in way over 90% of the people who go to prison do get divorced for financial reasons, mostly. So in my case, the answer is no. I kept my family, but by the grace of God go I, because I had a good relationship.
It sounds like you have a huge dose of humility from your experience, and I'm just guessing you were humble beforehand as well. I can't see the pride in the negative sense. I mean, you have some pride in the positive sense, I can hear, but I just don't hear it in you. The pride that you describe in the book, the arrogant kind of pride.
Well, I'm glad you don't, but I think it was there in spite of everything else.
Really?
If you're making a lot of money, or not making a lot of money, but you're well thought of in the community, and people say hi to you, and you're on a board or two, and you're making money, you can't see yourself as a felon, and you can't see yourself. So you cross that line by giving away your commissions, and in your brain you're thinking, well, so what? Everybody's doing it, and even if they do, they'll slap me on the wrist. I'll pay a small fine, and it won't matter. But in my case, they wanted to make a point, and they did. And I went to prison, as well as who was the CEO of our company, my youngest boy, went to prison for 4 months. So, but the message behind the pride, here's the message. It happened to me, and it can happen to you. And there's as much in between those lines in that book as there is in the book. And I'd encourage people to just, for their own safety, read it.
Well, I have a copy, and I'd like to give away the copy that A. Rand Robison sent to us. It is, again, titled From Pride to Prison. So I have a copy here. Call me if you want the one that was sent to me. And I found it on Amazon. It looks like you're getting really good reviews. I have the cover of the book right now on the podcast that we're doing. 14 customer reviews and just about 5 stars completely across the board. That's pretty impressive. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to talk to us. I think you're being very bold and very brave to tell this story, especially for the sake of other people.
You know, well, in the book, and I put it right on the cover, and I do this a lot. I go talk to prisoners and people who have been indicted or going to be indicted and tell them, look, take the plea. Take the plea. Don't puff your chest out and fight the government, because you'll lose. Take the plea, take your lumps, and move on, and try to get through it. It's a, and when you say I told the tale, I'm not telling the tale. I'm saying it because if somebody out there, and I can go to my grave and somebody can say, you know, I read this book and I read the book and it helped me, then I've done my part. I feel I wanted to do that, and that's what I did.
Thank you for being on the show with us today and for sharing your story with us. Good luck with everything. And one more question: do you have a website?
Yes. It's Rand Robison. You can just Google www from Pride to Prison, and it's right there.
Okay. We will do that. And we've just recorded this interview, so we'll put this up as a podcast, and it should be ready by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show with us, Rand.
Oh, hey, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Really.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Life South Community Blood Centers is an emergency need for all types of blood. Our community blood supply